Welcome back to Sask Music's Indigenous History Month. My name is LJ Tyson. I'll be your host, joined today by Patrick Moon Bird. Patrick, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
So good. I've been looking forward to talking to you for quite some time. I know we missed each other last year doing this interview, but I'm grateful for this year that we're able to take the time to do it. And I just want to start off by saying, like, you're from my neck of the woods, like the Prince Albert area, right?
Yes.
And I don't think we really crossed paths too much back in the day, but that music scene in PA, like in the I want to say late 2000s, early 2010, like that whole scene was like very, I want to say punk rock, metal, that kind of thing. And then were you involved in that? From my memory, you kind of were.
Yeah. So I was in a metal band called Dreadship, and I was like really involved in the metal scene. And I was trying to start a band and just gain notoriety through that. But then things went south, and I just decided to take the career and go solo and start making more chilled vibes kind of music.
And how does that start? Is just you in your room with a computer, or is it go deeper than that?
Okay, so what I started with was my iPhone, and it just was a garage band on my iPhone. I'm still using Apple products to this day. I'm using an iPad now. And yeah, I got sick of always making metal and always having to be like this hard exterior guy. And I wanted to delve more into like the softer side of my personalities and everything like that. So I started lo-fi very, very early. I think it was like 2018 when I released my first track. And then after that, it just took off.
I know something that we connect on, and this kind of goes back to that PA or early metalish punk rock kind of PA music scene. But the lack of like female representation. I know we kind of we've talked briefly about that before, and just like having that, like I don't want to. I stopped short of saying toxic masculinity because there was lots of great guys in that music scene. There's lots of great guys now in the music scene, but still like that lack of female representation, especially back then, you know what I mean? Like that was always such a, I don't want to say, yeah, but kind of a problematic thing, So I literally same boat as you. I wanted to kind of break away from that and explore, yeah, like you said, the softer side, the more feminine side. Not that
Yeah.
not that that kind of music wasn't great. It was just it was so part of it was such a male dominated scene, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
we're in a better spot nowadays. Do you find that with the genre of music you're doing now, is there more of a more an eclectic mix, I should say, in the genre?
Yes. Oh yes, absolutely. Like when I go into my demographics on Spotify for artists, I notice that it's mostly females that are listening to my music, and then like I noticed that in the scene that all these producers that are coming out, they are female, and I didn't realize that at first. I just listened to the music and later on searched them up later in life, and yeah, I noticed that, and that it was um very mixed gender wise, and like it didn't matter who you were as long as you made good music, you were good.
And I know that's important to you because we play I think for the past couple of years we've done PA Pride
Yeah.
together, and that's such an inclusive event and celebrating people from all walks of life, all differences. And you've played that the past couple of years. Is that something important for you to be involved in?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a supporter since I was a young kid, and then it was kind of rough though, especially growing up in like a native household. You're always told that like, oh, they're sinning and you're gonna go to hell and all this kind of shit, like BS, right? And it's like later on in life, once you start to discover yourself and start really imagining like why would the creator make people that are just gonna be sent to hell? And it was so stupid for me. And I was like, I branched on my own um, thoughts, and I found out that like I am I'm not sure if it's bisexual or pansexual. I'm not sure yet. I'm still exploring that as my life in my life. But I noticed that like I do find attraction to like anyone. It's totally fine, and it's not a sin. It's not like it's not a problem, you know. And so yeah, I find it to be very nice to be able to support the LGBTQ, well, 2S. I should throw that in there as well because we've always throw some hands.
You mentioned, growing up in an Indigenous household, a Native household. Um, that was a big part of your upbringing. And is that reflect in your music at all, or is that something a different part of your identity that you just keep to the side, or is it mixed in your music a little bit?
So I do find it like when I first started releasing music, I was just really trying to um, play with a niche and everything like that. So like really focusing towards like the like chill stuff and like lo-fi cafe and stuff like that. So I noticed later on in my career though, I was like, I really want to start like showing people that I do identify as Indigenous because I found a lot of people weren't doing that, and the people that did do it, they owned it completely, and I would just like complete hats off to them. And so with this album that I just released, Away from the City, it's actually about going to the like up north and finding home there.
No, I love that. It's so important. And like you said, yeah, lots of people are scared to self-identify. They're scared to be pigeonholed or just be put into a box of some sort. And man, yeah, I know I appreciate people that really own who they are and celebrate that. So yeah, just thank you for being part of the solution, part of the movement. Um, let's talk about streaming numbers. Now, in my opinion, as like as up and coming artists, as artists who are really just getting started at the beginning of their careers, a lot of us are feel super lucky to get like 5,000 views on a YouTube video or 5,000 views on a Spotify stream. Your streaming numbers are insane. Like besides being super talented and having the art to back that up, where do those streaming numbers come from?
So it really started with like doing lo-fi remixes and stuff like that. And one of them that really took off was the Sailor Moon one, and that one just everyone loved it and it started going viral around 2019, 2020. And it was actually kind of like overwhelming for me because I was like, oh, what do I do? Like I don't know what to do with this. And then Michelle Phan shared it, and she's like a big makeup YouTuber, and I didn't know that. Like I literally didn't know who this person was, and then my wife told me, and she was like, "Oh, that's Michelle Phan. That's a big YouTuber." I was like, "No effing way." Then I went on to release it onto streaming platforms, and then that's when it just started blowing up, and every single day I was getting like thousands of views. And I was like, "Oh my god, I can't handle this." Like it was too much for me, and um, at some point it
What a
started getting to
bad problem to have.
my yeah, no, it was super like I was so grateful, but at the same time I was like, all eyes are on me, you know what I mean? I've always been like I'm always either the guitarist, like off to the side of the band. I was never the front man. So to be like in the spotlight was very, very different for me. But I enjoyed it, and it still like gathers like 700 streams a day, and it's like my most popular track. But sometimes it gets like everyone only knows me for that, you know, like they don't know me for my singing, they don't know me for my acoustic tracks or like everything else. So it was kind of hard to like navigate that.
But I'm sure that there's crossover there. Some people are like, I like that, so I'm going to check out the rest of his stuff. Like
Yeah.
that for sure happens. Um, you mentioned it's a Sailor Moon remix. Anime fan?
Yes, big one. So I started watching anime at like a very young age. It's like influenced my life. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I've always wanted to like see um like watch anything I could that was anime when I was younger. it started with Gundam Seed, it started with Inuyasha, all those kind of things, and then I was like Naruto, and it just really blew up into this like obsession almost.
And does that come across in your music now?
I believe so, yes, because there are a lot of tracks where I'll take like a famous Japanese chord progression, implement it into my own music, and then it's like, wow, this sounds really like influenced by Japanese music.
What are you excited about in music right now?
Right now, just playing shows and everything like that. I'm going to be playing that Creek, same with you. Um, Saw that. That was really awesome.
I'm excited for it.
I know, right? It's I'm so excited, and it's going to be awesome. And so yeah, just going to be playing shows. Played a couple so far, and I'm just like just blown away by the response. Honestly, I didn't think anybody was going to be like, "Wow, this is really great," or like I was expecting the negative part of people to come out and be like, "Okay, well, like you're not that great."
We do that as artists. Like even right now, I'm working on a record, and I'm just thinking like, I don't think people are going to accept this part of me because like I've done like country folky-ish stuff the past few years. So like going back to the world of pop, I'm just like, I feel like I'm self-sabotaging when really I just, as artists, we got to keep pushing forward no matter if people like it or not. But you're so right. It's hard to get out of that mindset of like, who's going to listen to this? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, for sure. And like the one thing that I just always focus on is that like um one of my like people I look up to is Rick Rubin, and he's just like a great producer. He's worked with so many people, and he said that if you find music that's pleasing to you and you make music that's pleasing to you, lots of people are going to love it, because what you're doing is that you're creating art for yourself to push out into the world, whereas like other people will push out art that is meant for the world, and it doesn't get that kind of received. Like it doesn't get received that way.
Hmm.
So I think personally myself that like every time I write a song, it's like, would I listen to this? And that's what I always think to myself. Would I listen to this as like if it wasn't me as an artist?
Right.
And yeah, I totally would. So I think honestly, if you just do that, you'll be fine.
Love that. Absolutely love that. What's next? Album, single, EP?
So right now I'm currently releasing singles, and I'm having one come out on, I think it's July 27th. It's called Shimmer, and it's just like a small little lo-fi song. I'm trying to branch out into more of the lo-fi again, and just I've released so many songs with singing in them so far. So now I just like I want to go back to my roots and just release lo-fi. There's gonna be some songs in there about Saskatchewan, like farms, fields, stuff like that. Like
You
just
got it.
like Saskatchewan things that you would see just driving along the highway. But it's going to be called Lo-Fi Tapes, and I believe I'm going to be collaborating with some other artists from around the world.
I've done some snooping too. And any more collaborations with like Stephen Williams? And I know you kind of have been in talks with Travis Beatty, a new producer as well. Any collaborations with those two coming up?
So I have talked to Steven, and I was like so like intrigued in his new sound that I wanted to write something with him. But he's kind of busy with his whole child right now. Like like he's a new parent. Like,
We
and
should
I
mention
wish.
to everyone out there, we're talking Stephen Williams, who's part of Jake Vodlin and the Sturgeon River Boys, as well as his own music, which just blows my mind. Like Patrick said, like it's so different. And he goes under Southwest. So check him out too as you're watching this. After you're
Yes.
done watching this.
But yeah, he has his life, and I just like I pray for him. I pray for his family every single day. Just I love them. I love their story, and yeah, just and then who was the other person that you mentioned? It was Travis Beatty, right?
Travis Beatty, yeah.
Yeah. So he messaged me, and I was so blown away by that, because I know that he did produce things like in the past, and he works with like a bunch of artists, And I was just like, wow, like you actually want to work with me. That's incredible. Like that's amazing. Like so yeah, he's slowly just like going through his files, trying to find like the right song and everything like that. He had one, but I said, if you want me to sing on it, I mean, like I use autotune for everything, you know, like I'm just an autotune guy because I don't have confidence in my voice. So what I do is I try to match the song's tempo and key and then sing on top of it. But he was going so jazzy with it that it was all modal interchange, and I can keep up.
I know the track you're talking about, and it came across my table too. And I want to meet the singer that does that track because
I totally agree.
you know what I mean? I hope people get to hear that track one day with like the right singer, because yeah, it's a brilliant track, but it's so difficult.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like I just find myself in like in a situation where it's like I love it, but it's not for me. You know what I mean? Like I feel bad when I have to tell people that like I love it, but it's just not fitting my vibe. So
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome, Patrick. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit and chat with me today. I really appreciate it. Anything else you want to add? Places people can find you on social media?
So I go under Patrick Moonbird because that is my like full legal name. I was named after my uncle. But yeah, you can find me on every social media just under Patrick Moonbird, and then on Spotify it is Patrick Moonbird as well. So and another thing too is that I just got onto the Indigenous Now playlist on Apple Music, so that's super important and super exciting for me. So yeah, just check me out on all socials and platforms.
Sweet, dude. See you at Ness. Excited to see you there.
Yeah, super excited.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.